So Christmas is just around the corner. And just want to flag that you're probably going to come into contact with a lot of family members around those barbecue chats that I like to refer to, which every family member has an opinion on whether you should start a family or not, what career you should be pursuing. I'll approach this in a lens from a financial planning perspective. So, your uncle has an idea that, maybe you should be buying Bitcoin. Your auntie thinks that property is the best thing. Your grandparents are saying that cash and term deposits are the best thing. So everyone's got an opinion on what you should be doing. What I'd take a minute is just to slow down, because it's not necessarily bad advice, but you wouldn't just jump into a situation without doing your own research. Now, I do want to take a little bit of a step back and give you my paper, scissors, rock theory. So if you've ever played the game paper, scissors, rock, if I asked you, which one's the best? Is it paper, is it scissors, or is it rock? Now, there's a bit of game theory that you could go into how familiar you are with the person, but just on its own, you'd probably answer it depends. And it depends on who you're versing and what they've got. If someone's throwing out rock, you'd probably say the best that you could do is paper, because that's what's going to help you win. But if you don't know what's on the other end, you could say they're all about even. So really it just comes down to what result you're trying to get. I'll equivocate that back over to investments. So if I said to you, is self-managed super fund a good idea? Is negative gearing a good idea? Is buying property or the Bitcoin we talked about, term deposits and cash, is it a good idea? And it all can be, depending on what your circumstances are. And that's where I think it's really important just to take a step back when you are hearing all of these barbecue chats, that it really comes down to what you're trying to achieve in your time frame, because you can get timing wrong as well. As an example, there's been periods of volatility around the global financial crisis, and maybe you would have said at that time, maybe shares and investments were not as good a performing asset as property. We're now moving into a different market cycle where maybe that starts to shift. So even if you have the right decision, if you get the timing wrong because you're just born in a different era, you can also get less favorable results. So again, sit back, listen to it all, take it all in, but don't just follow advice blindly because someone has an opinion. That includes myself. So I'm a huge advocate of do your own research, certainly ask questions and educate yourself, because it can have a big impact on the trajectory that you go. As an example, not everyone should be a business owner. They might not have the temperament for it, the staying power, because it does take a certain type of person. On the flip side, not everyone should be an employee. We all had that friend in school who was a little bit hyper, and you'd just be like, gee, I don't know how you'd manage this guy. And they've had to go off and create their own businesses to suit their personality style. But it'd be silly to say that all businesses fail. It'd also be silly to say all businesses succeed. So it depends on the type of business, who's running it, what your personality is. Same thing as an employee. Some do really well, some don't. It depends on your circumstances. So even just zeroing in and going, no, I don't like property, I don't like cash. Again, those things, it's too limiting an answer. I'd be really trying to delve deeper on that. Again, so almost every path can work out depending on the kind of person you are. Hope you found that helpful. For more things like that, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.